light of his question and his statement that he is not losing any sleep over the Auditor General's report, can he confirm that he personally attended the dinner with SkyCity on the 4th of November 2009 and that he personally instructed officials to stop their normal work on the tender process? And if so, are the officials responsible for his personal actions or him?
Yes, I attended the dinner, and no, I didn't ask them to stop any tendering process. Mr Speaker, as I said before I was interrupted before, the main underlying question of the report was whether the government's decision to negotiate with SkyCity had been influenced by inappropriate considerations such as connections between political and business leaders.
Can he explain the Deputy Auditor General's comments, quote, "The meetings and discussions between government representatives and SkyCity were materially different in quantity and kind than those between the government and other parties"?
The report needs to be read in context. What the Auditor General makes quite clear in her report is that there was nothing inappropriate, in fact quite normal, that the government and SkyCity and others would have discussions. The nature of those discussions were always going to be different because of different proposals that were there. The Auditor General actually supports that because she says it's an unusual process, and as I said, she herself says, and I quote, "We see no evidence to suggest that the final decision to negotiate with SkyCity was influenced by any inappropriate considerations," which is total vindication. We did nothing wrong.
Can the Prime Minister explain the Deputy Auditor General's comment, quote, "We do not consider that the evaluation process was transparent or even-handed"?
Speaker, the Deputy Auditor General makes it quite clear in the report that she has some procedural issues, but no substantive issues whatsoever. Says there was no different conclusions that would be drawn, and goes on to say we see no evidence to suggest that the final decision to negotiate with SkyCity was influenced by any inappropriate consideration. She also says at length in the report that this was not a normal procurement, and in fact the government would always be looking for innovative and creative ways of doing things.
Why did SkyCity send designs for a 5,000-seat centre directly to the Prime Minister's office after a 4th of November 2009 dinner meeting between the Prime Minister and SkyCity?
Very good question.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Because people send proposals all the time to our office, and the Auditor General says in her report that is absolutely, totally appropriate that government ministers and organisations would have discussions. What then follows is an expressions of interest process, and that process followed.
Do these meetings that he held with SkyCity, as the Deputy Auditor General's report alleges, represent an unfair advantage to SkyCity or not?
The Auditor General notes there was no substantial advantage. What she says is there's some procedural issues around an unusual and bespoke different way of procurement. She also says that's quite normal in the environment we're in, and fundamentally there was no substantive issue.